It's very, very interesting. Sometimes I still battle with what was really the motivation behind it. So in that state, a medical professional will say I was in a hypersexual state. So I indulge more, and every normal human being has sexual desires. You either want to have sex, you either want to talk about sex, you either want to watch pornographic movies or be extra seductive. So in a manic phase of bipolar, your sexuality is heightened. So we call that hypersexuality. And I was in that phase. So those are my colleagues will tell you Abena doesn't really use makeup, but during that stage she was using a lot of makeup. My clothes were tighter. Most of the things I do will resonate with maybe sex or seductiveness. Yeah, I remember I went to Casford Hall, and sometimes I look back and I watch the video, I was like, well, like, that was a really dangerous thing I did. I went to the hall full of guys. I was in shorts, a top. I really did some dance moves that, excited the boys. And the guys could have pounced on me. They could have touched me in a very, uncomfortable manner. But luckily for me, all those things didn't go on. I think KNH, their cadets was doing something. I went to work out with them. Yeah, some of the positions were quite seductive. The guys just went wild and all that. So there were a series of things that I did before finally posting the new videos on Facebook. So in that phase, I was in a hypersexual phase. I did not know I had bipolar. Most of my friends did not know. So they just thought, oh, Abena has just been her happy go self, trying to be excited or trying to get other people to excited. So I wouldn't say it's good, I wouldn't say it's bad, because it's a state somebody goes into when they are bipolar and they are in a manic phase and they are not on medication. Sometimes even on medication you might still get manic, but when you're not aware of yourself, or when the people around you are not aware of the state you are in, you cannot really set the boundaries that you are supposed to. So some people are very they are not too lenient when it comes to these things, but you should know that most of the time it's not something the person is doing in a conscious state. The person doesn't even know where he or she finds herself. You are not aware of your surroundings, you're not aware of your thinking sometimes, and you do things that most of the time you later on regret. So just try and put yourself in the people's, be a little bit more compassionate. Think about the people's families, think about the people's friends. If it were you, would you want people to talk about you that way? We are not saying don't reprimand. We are not saying don't say what is not right. But do it with a little empathy. Don't be too quick to judge.